Dear freshers, it's time to let the light in, literally and mentally. Here's my advice.
Hello everyone. So guys, this video is just a few words of advice from me for freshers. If you're just getting into the university, congratulations, you're in for a treat. And I have just a few words of advice from me as a non-fresher to you as a fresher to maybe help you navigate your stay in the university with a little more ease and alacrity. I may not have lived it all. I mostly stayed indoors throughout my years in this school, but I do have some experiences of my own, some wild experiences of my own. I've also seen and observed enough chaos from a distance to know a thing or two. So take my advice with a pinch of salt because it's not gospel, but I just feel like it's going to be helpful in one way or the other. My first point for today's video is a lot of people you see around you, be it your classmates, your neighbors, or the people that you're going to be interacting with, a lot of them do not think. They don't have, or they just choose not to critically think. They don't think before they talk. So if you find yourself in a situation or in an institution where they do things like anonymous, that whole session where they post secrets about people that are meant to bring them down or just expose them, then don't let whatever they say get to you. Because yesterday we decided to unwind and just have an anonymous session, and almost the entire class was accused of malpractice and body odor. That can't possibly be the case, so obviously those things are lies. Don't let it get to you guys. It's just drama. None of it even matters after a while, because as long as they don't think, they most definitely do not have a long attention span either. I remember when I was in 100 level and I used to be very active on my class's interactive group, a group where we can all come together and discuss. I used to be very active there. And when I entered, when I newly gained admission, I was 17. And a discourse came up. I do not shy away from discourse. If there's a discussion or an argument, I will always be there if it affects me directly. And the conversation revolved around someone, an older demographic of people, saying that, oh, why will you, as an individual that's not up to the age of 18, why will you be in university? What are you rushing for? What's the rush, right? You shouldn't be here. Your brain isn't developed enough for you to be in university. And I was perplexed because this is coming from a 21-year-old individual who graduated secondary school at the age of 16 and has been writing JAMB every year since then and failing. So what would have happened if that individual gained admission the first time? Maybe he or she passed JAMB the first time when he was 16 and then gained admission into the university. What would have happened? Would he have decided not to take the admission? Would he have deferred the admission because, I don't know, he's not up to 18 or what? It just that whole scenario just entailed lack of critical thinking, because you just talk, you don't think, you don't reason before you say anything, and some people might actually be affected by those things. So if you're easily affected by things that people say, just know that there are going to be a lot of crazy people in the university. They do not think before they talk, and you should not let it get to you at all. On the platform Anonymous, try as much as possible not to allow your name get there, not to put yourself in a situation where your name will appear anonymous. But if your name does appear in the anonymous session, then don't think much about it. Don't let it get to you, because that's how a lot of insecurities and depression begins to start. Don't let it get to you. It's mostly lies. Even though it's not lies, it's just opinions. And what are opinions? Nothing. My next point here is that some lecturers that you're going to meet have God complex. By God complex, I mean that they feel and act as though they are superior to everybody and everything. And I do agree that they are superior to us as students. They are our teachers. They are meant to be our guardians in the perspective of in the academic perspective. However, I feel like they overplay their hands. They just do things that don't really make any sense, and then no one can hold them accountable because they are lecturers. So the best advice I can give to you in this scenario is to stay away from them, is to just avoid them in that regard. Just try your possible best to not get into their eyes. I do have my fair share of experiences in this regard in my interaction with lecturers. Even though I try as much as possible to be invisible when it comes to lecturers, I just cannot be. So this semester I actually stood on a table. A lecturer asked me to stand on a table because I was making noise alongside 200 of my classmates because we didn't realize the lecturer was in class. The lecturer's class was slated for 11 a.m. It wasn't 11 a.m. yet, and the previous lecturer that we had already left the class. The class was noisy. I didn't think there was any lecturer in the class, and we were making noise. And the woman came in. She was obviously already pissed that, I don't know, maybe she was already pissed from her house or something. But she came to school and she was pissed that her time was delayed. Probably she was supposed to have us before 11 a.m. But then something happened and there was a miscommunication with her and the course rep, and she had to teach us by 11 a.m., which she didn't like very much. So she took it out on me. She told me to stand on a table, and I did, because it's really nothing. Like, if you decide to make a fool of yourself, then go ahead and do that. I stood on the table and she just kept searching my face, like daring me to say something, daring me to object. I didn't. I just kept staring at her. She was staring at me. And then she asked me to leave the class. I left the class. And then not up to 1 minute later, she also left the class because apparently she said something that, oh, classes will now be by 7 a.m. And someone in the class shouted, eh? So she left the class out of anger. She was already obviously angry. But it doesn't really make any sense because there was a miscommunication. It's not really our fault. We weren't supposed to have you yet. Your class has not started. We're making noise and you got angry and you left. It doesn't really make any sense. So you decide to take it out on a student and possibly think that you humiliated her. You didn't. You can't actually humiliate me because I don't really care. But yeah, it's just so weird. And that's not even the God complex I'm talking about. That's just like an example I decided to give. God complex, some lecturers use their authority to extort money from students. Oh, buy this, buy that, pay for this, pay for that, and you just can tell that it's honestly outrageous. You must attend this event, you must attend that event, attendance is compulsory for this, for that, for their own personal gain, and no one can hold them accountable. You must pay for so many things just to pass the course, and you might not even end up passing the course if you don't write well in your exam. So what really is the point of all those hassles in between the semester? Lecturers, they'll keep students in class till 9th. They'll come late for class and keep you in class till 9th. They'll talk to you anyhow, disrespect you because they feel like you can't do anything, and you honestly can't do anything about it.
So guys, unfortunately I'll need to apologize. This video is actually supposed to be 21 minutes long. I had a lot to say. I was venting, but I ran into some technical difficulties and this footage has no audio, but I will do another part of this later. Thank you for watching. Bye.